Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Real Legend of Gaming. So we are here with a new Clash Royale deck, and as usual, we're going to show you a couple of highlights of how the deck does. And if you carefully look at it, we're sticking to the same core of the Pekka, Baby Dragon, Knight, Musketeer, along with the log. This time around, we made a couple of changes to adjust to the recent bridge spam meta. So what we did was we added back the zap spell, because there's been a lot of goblin barrels. With the battering ram, you want to be able to reset the charge. The bandit, you want to be able to stop him momentarily. So this card here, I believe, belongs in the meta again. What we also did was bring in a card that I have not used since it launched, the Goblin Gang. And yes, it's been nerfed recently. However, I think that card is so crucial now because you're starting to see a lot of those bandit ram decks, along with a lot of Royal Giants again. I've been noticing them returning. So this card here is a quick way to take those tanks out, and also to be able to stop that battering ram or the bandit. Now, you might say, well, that card could be zapped or it could be logged. It could, but for 3 Elixir, it's a trade-off. It's even, so you're not going to be hurting yourself. And nowadays, the zap cannot get rid of that Goblin Gang unless it's 1 level higher. Another thing to keep in mind as well is once it's double elixir time, because most of these cards are at such a low elixir count, you're going to be dropping them like crazy. So this deck could become a spawn deck as well. So I love the flexibility that it can counter almost everything that you can think of. With the Goblin Gang and the Knight, you can stop the mortars, you can stop the xbows. The Pekka can stop these Royal Giants, and Golems. So it works out pretty well. Things to bear in mind, though, is that if the opponent has a tornado or if they're using arrows, try not to drop those Goblin Gangs unless you see one of those cards being used. Like we did right here. We saw the tornado was used. We know that it's not going to cycle back for a bit, so we can drop it down with confidence. As you see, the deck is pretty strong. I mean, we were able to get 2 towers quickly. We still can counter the Elite Barbs, which are seeing an uptick again as well. Been seeing a lot of Hog and Elite Barbs decks where, you know, they're dropping Elite Barbs on the left and Hogs on the right, or vice versa. So having those Goblin Gangs again helps out with stopping one side so that you can drop the Knight to stop the Elite Barbarian. So it gives you a lot of options for defense. And for offense, again, you can still spam at the bridge as well if you wanted to be that type of player and stack behind the Pekka. So you see right here, we got the Knight, so you can use the Baby Dragon as well. The Baby Dragon's Rage is incredible, so it'll allow it to be able to shoot at the Elite Barbarian from a distance as well, and clear out those skellies and clear out anything else. Now, if you notice, I've been staying away from the Ice Wizard in my recent decks for the simple fact that with the Skarmy returning as well, the Ice Wizard cannot one-shot the Skarmy, which is a bit disappointing, but nonetheless, I still think is a great card. It is still my favorite legendary, but with this recent meta, the Ice Wizard isn't ideal right now. So I will show you that replay. I'm looking for another one here. Bear in mind that I wanted to show you replays against cards that are on my level or higher. Now this replay here is interesting. Obviously I already know what happened, but this is against a 3 Musketeer Ram heal deck, which is also very popular in the meta. And it's a scary deck. If you're not careful, those 3 Musketeers can quickly take down a tower or take down your whole push. So we're dropping the Pekka now behind the King's Tower, which is also different from what I've been doing before. With that change in speed time, by the time the Pekka gets to the first Archer Tower, it gives you enough time to drop down another support troop. Now you see the heal Musketeer. With the Goblin Gang, you can quickly drop it down and take out 2 of those Musketeers with no problem. So again, it shows you how versatile the Goblin Gang is, even after the nerf. And Baby Dragon, as long as your team is throwing down those spawn cards, which is most likely ground troops, Baby Dragon is going to be able to attack with no problem. Another thing also that I'm able to do a lot more now is dropping the Pekka from the side. Because you got a lot of spawn decks, the opponent is completely forgetting to drop cards back there. They're dropping everything at the bridge, so the Pekka to the side will be able to do at least 2 or 3 clean hits. And if you have troops pushing from the left-hand side at the King's Tower, that musketeer might even be able to get in that 3rd or 4th hit with no problem. And then again, if you have the tank in front of the musketeer, musketeer is going to attack until the HP is diminished. So as you see here, this deck quickly shut down that 3 musketeer heal deck, allowing the opponent to rage and quit. So that's something that you want to be able to do more. You want to get your opponent to the point where they just give up, or they're not going to be able to maneuver properly because they're intimidated by the fact that you're shutting them down quickly. So that's why I showed you that highlight there. So as usual, folks, this deck will be featured on Clash Royalepedia. Be sure to check them out on Twitter along with myself. We're interacting more with our followers and subscribers because we're streaming Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we love the turnout. We also like to get user-submitted decks so that we can feature them on the streams. So be sure to tag us on a picture or any recent achievements that you had. I know we had Maynard YouTube tag us on some recent chests that he unlocked. We like stuff like that. We like to interact with the fans, and it just creates an awesome community that we've been able to build up thanks for everyone's support. So as always, folks, thank you. Drop that like if you appreciate the content. Subscribe if you want more updates, and share it if you want to support the Real Legend of Gaming and Clash Royalepedia. Alright, so peace out. Thank you.